How are you guys doing? I have to get this adjusted just enough so my little hands show up. But the bottom part doesn't, because that kind of gives it away. So how are you guys doing? It's Saturday morning about 8:15, and I'm in a really good mood. Okay. I've got um several things that I want to talk about. So yeah. Wait, hang on. Yeah, I have pneumonia. It doesn't feel like I have pneumonia. Um, I told you a couple of videos ago, I had double pneumonia when I was in sixth grade. And that's when I was shooting peanuts out into the hallway off my tray, remember? Well, I felt pretty crummy back then, but now it's like, I don't know. So I went into the cancer center where I used to go for my infusions and stuff, my chemo, and I met with my oncologist, and he read the results of the CT scan, and we went through, and he's just really cool. He's just a great doctor. And we actually went through the CT scan, and you know how it's layers. And so he can just rotate the mouse wheel and it like shows. Do you know what I'm talking about? It shows different slices of your body. This is like the international symbol for slicing your body. The international, right? So yeah, he showed me where the pneumonia kind of is, ground glass opacity. He's like, yeah, I don't know. It just means that, we can just see it on the CT scan a little bit. That's what that means. But, so yeah, we went through the whole thing, and, he's like, yeah, okay, so you were in the ER, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he said your blood pressure was low. I'm like, yeah. Well, so they did a bunch of blood work and did my blood pressure again yesterday before I went in and saw Dr. Shanks. Remember, Dr. Shanks is my very kind of serious, stoic, really great doctor. Nice guy. By the way, somehow we ended up on the topic of mowing barefoot. So he was kind of scolding me for mowing barefoot. And I'm like, well, do you really think if you're dumb enough to get your feet under there, do you really think your shoes are going to help you? And he's like, well, that's true. So he did not like the idea of me mowing barefoot. And I said, well, the only problem is it kind of stains the carpet when you come in. So he laughed. But yeah, so you guys, yesterday my blood pressure was 96/57. It was higher, a little bit higher than that, when the previous doctor was like, oh, you got to go directly to the ER. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go directly, So my blood pressure was even lower yesterday. And Dr. Shanks is like, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit low. So, just keep an eye on it. And, maybe. And I said, well, what about my amlodipine, which is a blood pressure medication when your blood pressure is too high, right? He said, you're doing that once a day, right? And I'm like, yeah. I said, well, what if I stop taking that? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So tell you what, take one like every other day. And then, international symbol for every other day, you might have to take notes during this video, you guys. But he said, yeah, then stop in here in 2 weeks and just come to the desk and just tell them that, I want you to have your blood pressure taken, and they'll just do a quick, blood pressure check. So I don't know. Um, I've got, as always, and I'm sorry I keep saying it, but I've got a bunch of stuff I got to get done today. I have to burn boxes. I still haven't mowed. Now the backyard is like that. So, laundry, dishes, blah blah blah. Anyway, not your problem. So, yeah, but the weird thing is I'm feeling just fine. So, what really bugs me about Walgreens, beep boop boop beep beep boop boop beep, and this happened during my appointment with Dr. Shanks. Beep boop boop beep. Your prescription is ready. It's like, okay, fine, and, you silence it or whatever. Well, 10 minutes later, beep boop beep beep boop beep. Your prescription is ready. I know. I'll get over there. And so we're laughing about that. It's kind of like Walgreens is kind of like that friend that, a new friend that kind of gloms onto you and they're calling you like every day. Oh, I wish I had a friend. But no. So anyway, went through the CT scan results, all of that. So I'm taking amoxicillin, which, I kind of figured, and then azithromycin or Z-Pak, right? I had a Z-Pak like, I don't know, man, like a dozen years ago or something like that, a long time ago. I haven't taken an antibiotic for forever, but I thought a Z-Pak came in a little paper thing and you pop out the pills, the Z-Pak. Well, it came in this, and so I'm like, well, I hope that's the right thing. But yeah, so they gave me 500 milligrams. They gave me the first dose in that punch out package when I was in the hospital in the ER. So this is just the other 4 doses or whatever. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, apparently I have pneumonia. I don't know. So, but I feel good enough to go out and mow. So yes, no, I'm not going to overdo it, you guys. I know what you're thinking. Put your steel-toed boots on, right? I used to work at a nuclear power plant. I don't know if I told you that. But yeah, fascinating, document control. I was fresh out of college. This was kind of my first job out of college. Document control. And so we did all of the microfiching of all the work orders. And so we knew everything that was going on in the plant. Fascinating. The Red Wing nuclear power plant, back then it was NSP. It's Excel Energy now or whatever. But yeah, we did the drills and all that. Evacuate. We had to evacuate to the pump house, which was this separate building down by the river where the big evaporators, pump the cool water through. So we had to evacuate to this building. And it smelled like dead fish in there, but fascinating. All the radiation detectors and the metal detectors and all that. Yeah, I could tell you stories about that. So if you had a hard time following that, the reason I bring up Prairie Island is because we were required to wear steel-toed boots in the plant. All right. So we're going to tie those 2 things together, mowing and nuclear power. I think I did tell you a story a while ago. I was walking through the plant on the way to the lunchroom, and because our office was kind of tucked in the back of, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm walking through the plant, huge pipes and gauges and all kinds of stuff, Wow. Anyway, I happened to glance over, and there was a gauge that was like, it was like over into the red area, like warning. And I'm like, geez, should we evacuate? So I told my boss, and he's like, don't worry about it. Somebody knows about it. So, but yeah, seriously, this gauge was like, it couldn't go any further, Yikers. So anyway, how did I get off on all of that stuff? Imagine we're sitting around a campfire. Yes, I would give you guys a chance to tell your stories too. I wouldn't just dominate the whole conversation. But it's like right now, you're kind of a captive audience, and so I'm just going to blather on and on. But anyway, one of the other things, this is the last, Noel, I can't guarantee it. I can't guarantee it. I said it last time. This is the last time I'm going to talk about my wires. All right. But that's a lie. I'll probably talk about them again. But, oh, by the way, I did a bunch of organizing and cleaning up in here. Can you tell? So my new wires came from Amazon. Old wire, new wire. So 2 gauge, 3/0 gauge. This is my new super heavy duty with the emphasis on the heavy. Man, this is right here. This has got to be 7 pounds. Okay. So, and this is just the positive. Add the negative. Now it's 14 pounds. I have to be really careful with every single pound that I'm adding to my trailer. I have to be really careful with the weight, right? Otherwise, the frame is going to go, out in the middle of nowhere. And then I got to get my welder out and do some work. And yes, yes, I'm bringing a welder with me. Just a wire feed welder. I've got the mask and everything. So if my camper breaks, I can maybe fix it myself, Every guy that works in IT, every computer geek should own a welder, right? What could possibly go wrong? So anyway, you guys, yeah, so I need to rebuild a bunch of stuff over here, my big solar project. But man, this right here, 12 inches of this stuff, $12. So it's $1 per inch. What am I going to say? Some of you have left it in your comments. You're like, as you would say, geez. So weight and cost, geez. So anyway, I gotta get these solar panels up on top of the roof of my trailer this summer so I can start, harvesting. That's what, us professional solar people call it. So I can start harvesting solar, energy, get it pumped into this whole wacky thing, all this equipment, and start powering my house and start saving some money. So I did a calculation between my huge investment in all this equipment. It should pay off in the year 2195, I think. So I'm not sure I'll be around, but my kids will be saving money. So, yeah. What else? So, yeah. So my, what do they call antibiotics? Antibiotics, pneumonia, but I feel okay. Wiring, I replied to a lot of your comments on the last video, just, typing them in, and I didn't reply to about half of them. So I'm going to do that in this video because that's kind of fun and it actually goes kind of fast, right? So, what else was I going to talk about? Do you want to learn anything else about wiring? No? Yeah. Okay. I thought so. What else? A bunch of other stuff. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look at your comments. And thank you, by the way. Thank you very much for your comments. All right. Let's do that then. Okay. Oh, whoops. I gotta put another log on the fire. Hang on. So yeah, it's kind of a hassle, but it, and another thing, you guys, do I have like some soup caught in here or something? I'm not sure about this whole, this whole Colonel Sanders thing. I don't know. It's a little bit of a hassle, literally eating soup, and then it dribbles down here, and then I have to go in the bathroom and like shampoo and conditioner, and I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. Anyway, blah blah blah. So let's take a look over here. So Purple Phoenix, aka Michele. By the way, Michele has a YouTube channel, and she's got, I think, hundreds of videos out there. If you guys see a comment, you can click on the icon and it'll bring you to whoever's, YouTube channel. Well, Michele, if you're watching, I have watched hours of your videos. Okay. You guys, Michele is the sweetest gal. Michele, you have left a lot of comments on my channel, and I'm sorry I haven't left any on yours yet, but I have listened to you for literally hours. Here's the thing, you guys. Her channel is very simple, and to be honest, have you thought about starting a YouTube channel yourself? It doesn't take much. I mean, you don't need a bunch of crap in your background or, wacky, stuff like that, and by the way, sorry, honey bun, I haven't talked to you for a while. Yeah. Okay. But you guys, to start a YouTube channel, all you need is this. All you need is a cell phone. And, like I say, Michele, she doesn't have a lot of fancy editing and a bunch of stuff, a bunch of graphics and whatnot. She just sits there and tells her story. And that's what I like about her channel. It's like you don't feel like you have to sit there and watch the entire time. You can be doing dishes or something and you can listen to her in the background, right? Whereas my videos, you almost feel like you have to, be watching in case you might miss, something. So yeah, you guys, just a cell phone, and you don't even need a fancy microphone or any of that stuff. Maybe some simple, editing software. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know. I started this channel out just very simple and just telling my story, and then it just grew and grew and grew. And by the way, we've lost a handful of subscribers. We were up to 1,018, and I think now, and it's gone down and back up, and but recently we had one new subscriber. So thank you, new subscriber. Yeah, if you could come over here and help me load some heavy stuff into the trailer, that would be great. Yeah, no, Michele. And I think what's really cool about watching each other's channels is you really get to know other people in the Mad Pack, right? Now, if anyone else out there has a YouTube channel, and I could have sworn maybe a couple of you do, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm really sorry, but if you have a YouTube channel, leave a comment and I'll look you up. And what I'm going to do for Michele's channel, I'm going to leave a link in the description below, and you guys can go out there and watch one of your fellow Mad Packers. Okay. Maybe leave a comment, give her some encouragement. She's really having a hard time with lung cancer. Yeah, geez. But anyway, Michele, thank you for all of your comments and stuff on my channel. So, She said, now she's referring to, I did a post a while back saying, I'm not feeling good and da da da. So she says, I'm so sorry I didn't see that post, but I did see that post about me. So thank you again. She just left a comment and I put it out there on posts, and some of you have replied to her. You're welcome, Michele. My pleasure. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why I didn't see it, because you deleted it before I saw it. Yeah, I put that post out there that I'm in the ER, and then I came out of the ER like 5 hours later, so it was no big deal. So I just deleted the post. Hope you feel better soon. And don't forget to take your medicine. Very important. Yep. Okay, Mom. With all due respect, I have to take mine every 12 hours. Pain in the butt. Before I'm usually asleep when it's time for my second dose. Yeah, that does happen. Sending healing angels your way. Thank you, Michele. And right back at you. Okay. Thank you for that. So then Aurelia, I think that's a really pretty first name, Aurelia. Glad you're feeling better, Jim. Hugs. Thank you, Aurelia. Yeah, I am feeling better, obviously. And then Steve, SwimFit, Steve says, God, Jim, glad you went to the ER. Low blood pressure is no joke. Glad you're feeling better. Thanks, Steve. Are you drinking enough water? Yes, I am, Dad. Salt your food. Yeah, I actually drink about a gallon of water a day. I have a Soda Stream. It's actually a generic brand, but you buy these special bottles and you put just regular, well, I have a zero water filtration system. I love it. With a fresh filter in there. I measured the king of incomplete sentences. just try to follow along. So I've got this water tester thing, a TDS meter, it's called. I measured my tap water, and it measures how many particles per million or whatever. It just shows how clean your water is. Well, I did my tap water, and it came out to like 300 and something, which means, it's okay. It's not going to kill me. But with a fresh filter in my pitcher, my filter pitcher, I measured it again, and I'm not kidding. It was 0. That's why this filtration system is called Zero Water. I'll leave a link in the description too for this really good water purification system. You just put tap water in the top, and it filters down into the pitcher. Works great. I'm not kidding. It removes all of the particles. And then over time, the filter, starts getting old. And so when it starts reading like 50 or 75, then I'll replace the filter or whatever. But anyway, I put my filtered water in this bottle, and the Soda Stream, it uses CO2 cartridges, right? And then I never buy pop. I just drink filtered carbonated water. I love it. So anyway, so I am drinking plenty of water. And yeah, I feel like there's enough salt in my food already, and when I'm cooking, I try not to add salt, maybe a little bit, but like a hot dog, they're like full of salt, full of sodium. So yeah. And then Lori says, so glad you went to the ED, Jim. I think she meant ER. Or is there another acronym for ED? Stay with your meds and get good rest. Hugs. Thank you, Lori. And if you remember, Lori was the one that sent me my Advent calendar back during Christmas. It's sitting over there. It's actually sitting on the laser right now. You can't see it, but for those of you that don't know, another weird story. Well, I don't know if I'll get into it, but back during COVID, I drove from St. Paul down to Orlando, Florida, to pick up my big industrial laser, 750 pounds. And it's sitting here in my living room. Honey, can I go to Florida and get a great big piece of equipment and put it in the living room? Okay, thanks. Uh, so, but anyway, during COVID, well, it's such a long story, you guys, but I ended up assembling a team of ladies that I called the Sewing Army. And I designed these COVID masks in 2 pieces. So the Sewing Army just did 1 stitch down the front like this. And then we ended up donating 5,000 masks to Children's Gillette Hospital here in St. Paul. So, yeah. And then I've been doing all kinds of other laser stuff. It'll cut 1/8-inch plywood all the way through, So anyway, blah, blah, blah. How did I get off on that? Sorry. So yeah, I am getting good rest. Yesterday I went to bed at 5 in the afternoon and I got up at 6 this morning. So yeah, I'm getting plenty of rest. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lori. Kristen says, hi, Jim. Hi, Kristen. So relieved you received proper care. Whew. Science. Yes. Tons of science in the medical industry or whatever you want to call it, right? CT scans and, all the blood work and stuff, amazing. They did a ton of blood work when I was in the ER and I got all those results back. And I'm not kidding. It was like 10 different blood tests and it shows you a graph, it's like, red is low, green is, within range. And then I don't know, something else is too high or whatever. And there's a little marker. Super cool. But yeah, the medical field is nothing but science, right, Kristen? Thank you. She gets it. She gets the whole science thing. And then Kathy from Pennsylvania, she lives in Erie. And don't move to Erie, you guys. They just have terrible weather in Erie. Right, Kathy? Rest up and get better. Bet you were tired after 5 hours in the ER. Yeah, I mean, you're just laying there, waiting for people half the time, right? We are awaiting thunderstorms here in Erie. Yeah, see, there you go. I told you. Hope you did not have any Gulf-size hail. Did you have Gulf-size hail, Kathy? Man, very windy here. Cancer survivor, Kathy. Good job, Kathy. Cancer survivor. I told you guys we have a handful of survivors in the Mad Pack. So yeah, not Gulf size. We had pea size maybe last week, I think. And I still have to fix the awning on my trailer because the awning was only out about maybe 2 feet. I can't put it all the way out. Otherwise it'll hit the side of my house over here. But we had a big storm come through and it damaged my awning. And so insurance, actually I did it over my phone, I think. We did a live video chat. So I was up on the roof of my trailer showing, the damage, to my awning. And my roof vents, they were okay. They didn't get busted up or anything. But yeah, so they sent me a check to have my awning repaired. It was like $1,800 or something like that. So, but I still haven't repaired it. I'm going to take Gorilla Tape and put a couple of layers over the damaged part. And I don't think that's insurance fraud, is it? Let me know, leave a comment because I don't want to do insurance fraud, where they send me $1,800 to have it replaced or whatever. And then I use like Gorilla Tape, maybe $30 for that. I don't know. Jeez. And maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot by videoing this. But anyway, so I still have to get up on a ladder and do that. So yeah. And then Wendy. She's been with me for a long, long time. My hand is raised. I remember the sweatshirt. So a couple videos ago, I wore my I'm not feeling good sweatshirt. And it's ratty, dirty, old, but it's one of my favorites. It's comfortable, right? Anybody else have a favorite sweatshirt? It's like, I don't care if people judge me. It's just comfy, right? So I started wearing that very early on when I started my channel. But yeah, Wendy, I had a hunch that you would remember that sweatshirt because you commented on it, a while back. I had my CT with contrast this morning. Oh, so I can relate to that. Really? You had a CT scan recently? I think, well, I don't remember, Wendy. Are you just finishing up your treatment or something? I feel really bad because I can't remember. But wow, you had a CT this morning. Okay, that was a while ago. We will always have your back, and vice versa, Wendy. Back at you. Mailed you a card today from us all. Oh, thank you. I have to go to the mailbox today and get that. I haven't been to the mailbox for, I don't know, maybe a week or something like that. I know it's not easy sometimes to get to the mailbox. Well, yeah, I'm just lazy, that's all. I stuck a letter in there too. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Just to update, I loved working with Filipinos in the nursing homes because I told the story how I was on the board of directors for local healthcare here in St. Paul, Minneapolis, down in Hastings. Anyway, we couldn't find nurses. So we went to the Philippines and brought, a handful of Filipino nurses because that's one of their major exports. The Philippines, they export nurses. They have excellent nursing schools. Okay. They were always sharing their interesting foods that they would bring. Oh, I didn't get any of that. Worked one New Year's Eve. Cool. A car pulled up to the front door and dish after dish was handed out. Wow. Pretty funny. They taught me to cook the dishes I liked. Well, can you come over and teach me, Wendy? Or when I'm going through Arizona, I'll stop over. You're in the Phoenix area, right? I think so. Anyway, James, she's mad at me. Only people that are mad at me call me James. I'm thankful that you're feeling better. Prayers continue. Love you mucho. Right back at you, Wendy. Love you too. You're awesome. Yeah, thank you for all that. Wow, Filipino food. Yeah. That's a genre that I haven't tried yet. Rhonda says, I didn't see your post either, but I'm so glad you're on the mend. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us updated. We all happen to care a lot about you. Oh, see you guys, that really keeps me going, on a Saturday morning when I should be doing other things, but I feel like I want to, and it's kind of weird, you guys. I almost feel like you're there or here and I'm talking to you, here. So yeah, I care a lot about you guys too. You guys know that, right? Hugs to you, my sweet friend. God bless you. Thank you, Rhonda. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Rhonda's great. She leaves a lot of really great comments, and a lot of you do. So that's it. I haven't responded. So, excuse me. So now I can go and do this. Okay. So you guys will get oops, wait, let me. So yeah, I haven't responded up here. And I was saying, so now I get to go and do this, give you guys all hearts, which, kind of feels a little bit lame if I don't type anything. But, so you'll get a notification that Jim sent you a heart. So yeah, thanks you guys. Thank you. And thanks to the rest of you that left comments. And I do try to reply, this way, the international symbol for international sign language for, replying to comments. No, it should be this way. Oh, I figured out something else too. Duh. So I'm a computer geek. Well, guess what? I go into YouTube and I go into a comment. Guess what? There's a little microphone down there and I can just go, oh, thanks, Wendy. love you too. And yeah, I'm feeling better. And it's, a voice dictation. Duh. So that makes it even easier. I mean, I still have to go back and correct punctuation and stuff like that. But you would think an IT guy would know this stuff, right? But I don't know. So I feel like this is kind of short. Oh, well, okay. This is kind of weird, but do you remember back quite a ways ago when I bought my new bass guitar? So my old one is on the wall, and I bought a new one that's smaller and lighter, so I can actually take it with me in the trailer. Well, now I don't know. Now that I've got this heavy wire, maybe I can't bring my bass in the trailer. But can't believe I'm showing you this. Or maybe I did already. I bought this thing. It's a weird looking thing. But what it does, oh, I got to trim my fingernails. Jeez. But it's a thing to increase your grip strength. Now, those of you that are going through chemo, this is one regret that I wish I would have done during my treatment. Or, if you're going through chemo or whatever kind of treatment, I wish I would have exercised more, just so I'm not so weak now after my treatment is done, right? So even just from the couch, standing up, just squats like that, even if I didn't feel like doing it, I wish I would have forced myself, to do something, even a can of soup, and just doing these very lightweight, but, do something, some kind of exercise, a couple of cans of soup, and just do military press. Well, sorry, buddy. That was weird. I felt something fuzzy on my elbow, and it's like, do I have a pet that I don't know about? So, no, this is my camera microphone. And by the way, this is called a dead cat, the fuzzy thing on microphones. But yeah, military press, So I wish I would have done more of that during my chemo treatment, just to keep, flexibility and a little bit of muscle tone, stretches, sit on the floor and just do some basic stretches. You can go on YouTube and do a search on stretching for me, older people, or stretching for seniors. And it'll show you just some very simple, safe stretches that you can do, with your legs. And, you don't need to do a downward dog or, like this on the yoga mat and then go like this and do a back handstand or something, no, very simple things like that, just to keep your muscle tone. But anyway, so I bought, back to my story. We're sitting around a campfire and you guys are like, geez, would you get to the point? So I bought my bass guitar, and because you need a little bit of strength on this hand to push down on the strings. And so I bought this thing to increase my grip strength. So when I'm learning bass guitar, I've got some strength in my fingers. And, it comes in handy, like when I'm carrying my pitcher of water. Did you know that a gallon of water weighs 18 pounds? Fun fact. Yeah, a gallon of water. So maybe, one of these just for fun. You can just do this in front of the TV or something. I don't know. And there's different ways of doing it. You can do it like upside down like this. You can do it like this. You could do just 3 fingers, and it's adjustable. This knob on the end here, it goes from, hang on, it goes from 10 pounds to 60 pounds. So yeah, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. So that's just an idea. I got that on Amazon. What else? Oh, I've got all kinds of stuff I could show you, but let's cut it off. So, have a good day today, you guys. All right, that was terrible, but try to get outside today. It's supposed to be like 55, maybe higher than that today. Sunny. So it's supposed to be a really nice day today. So I'm going to try to spend all day outside as much as I can. I'm not going to overdo it because because I have pneumonia, right? So I don't know. So I'm going to burn boxes and do some mowing and stuff like that. So I'll talk to you later. All right. Okay. Bye, you guys. Have a good day. Bye. Science.